Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the House Academy show this time, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how to structure partnerships so everybody wins. This is our number one topic that's been requested this week by everybody.
Right.
Just the number one thing that gets run through our customer service machine.
Well, a lot of it's because it's a big deal right now that we're, here we are 2020 and we're funding deals. And it's not just us. I just did this whole big investor list. I mean, I threw out a list of, I can't remember what the number was, but it was 50 million. 50 million
Yeah,
that were,
50 million.
I want to say,
Like 48
that
or so.
I scraped together in one email. I scraped together about 50 million to fund members deals. And I know there's way more than that people didn't weigh in yet to see how it goes first. And then they're going to jump on board. But so people are asking about this because it's what it is we're funding each other's deals. We are funding our members' deals or even the general public. If you've got a great deal, it shouldn't go to waste, period. I don't care who you are. But I like my people because I know how you found it. I know you bought it right. I know you know how to market it. I know you know how to sell it. I know you know your stuff.
What's important to understand about real estate in general, not just deals, is that whatever you make up and the other person agrees to, that's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very nebulous. And so I understand the popularity of this topic and the question, like, what do you mean? Like, because I think people are used to the parameters in real estate. Like, I got to pay 6%, but you really don't have to pay 6%, or I have to use a real estate agent. No, you don't.
Right.
There's all these rumors or what would you call them?
Ideas, thoughts.
These
preconceived rules, and they don't exist.
Yes, they're
all.
No,
I have one. Okay, I'll tell you real quick too.
A wives' tale.
Well, as a matter of fact, here's what's so funny. We have a deal funding right now, and the agent came back and said, or not the agent, excuse me, the manager of the deal came back and said, all right, the agent that we have, the title agent, wants to have a signed purchase agreement because we're putting it in the name of a different entity, right, than who sent out the original offer. No big deal. He's like, they're asking for a purchase agreement that shows the name of that entity. And so my person was actually starting to type up a fancy formal thing to send it to him, to send it to the seller. I said, no. This is something silly for the stupid title agent's files. Just all you got to do, call the seller and say, hi, seller, do me a favor. We cross this off and write this name and initial it and then send it to me. That's all we need. He's like, that's all you need. I said, yes, it's a piece of paper for that person's file. It's an example of all this preconceived stuff that we think we have to do, for whatever reason, and we don't.
It's all designed to make us believe we need all these people involved in our real estate deal.
Exactly.
We need a lender. We need a real estate agent. It's all fiction.
A bunch of
all of it.
Foo-foo. Thank you. Should we answer
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members. I was just thinking about tragic, historic real estate scenarios I've been involved in where people kill deals because they want to feel needed.
Oh, I believe it.
Let's take a question on houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Allison wrote, so where's the best place to buy and sell houses? I live in West Texas.
I mean, I'll tell you, this is a very simple question, but it's a great one. I don't know. I do know what to do to find out.
True.
I go into usually Redfin data. There's a lot of places you can grab data. Redfin happens to be free, which is why I recommend it to everybody. And I look at the zip code data scenario and see where the best place to buy and sell houses is. The data tells me. I don't guess.
I love it.
I go and
We never guess. That's fun. It's funny. I want to say that there's no guessing in anything.
Really anything. In West Texas, it's rural. So you may or may not have the best data set to work from, but find out where the data is that's available. Pit those zip codes against each other. One of them's going to smack you in the face. Between 1 and 3 or 5 zip codes against the other ones are going to say, wow, the days on markets are really low here. This is the price. There's not a lot of property for sale. This seems like a good place to buy and sell houses. And then if you're brand new, I would take a couple other steps, like maybe have some conversations with a real estate agent or anybody that you can think of that knows a little bit about the market. Mm-hmm. But don't guess.
I love it. And it's nothing that we can answer right here. Oh, well, you should go here, 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 and here. If anybody does that, if anybody says, oh, well, then you should go this area, this area, this area, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Do not do your own homework and figure out the numbers for yourself.
And to take even Jill's point a step further, it's not like I can sit here and say only send mail to zip codes that have days on market that are less than 30. Why can't I say that? Because maybe, I don't know this, but maybe the whole state of Texas in the economy that it's in right now, none of them have less than 30 days on market.
Right.
Maybe
it's 45.
Maybe it's 45.
And that's okay.
Maybe it's in a super slow economy and it's 105. But most of them are 210, but you found one at 105. That's the one you want to be doing business in.
Thank you.
It's all relative.
I appreciate that.
Today's topic, how to structure partnerships so everybody wins. This is why you're listening. You send some mail out. Everything works the way it's supposed to. A seller calls you back and says, I would love to sell you my house for $180,000. And I really need to kind of get this deal done because I'm moving to Boston. And yeah, great, whatever. It's worth $225, I know, but the basement's a mess. I don't have time to clean it. This is a very real situation, by the way. So can you just come on over and we can close this deal? And let's say we get it done in 15 days or so. And you say, your answer is absolutely yes. This is exactly why we sent you the letter. And so that afternoon, you or your boots on the ground go over to make sure maybe in a perfect world, meet an inspector that day. After you've confirmed that you actually want to buy the thing from a number standpoint, the inspector because he's a perfect inspector, hands you a printout at the end of his little walkthrough. You read it and say there's no real problems, and you shake the seller's hand. He hands you a purchase agreement and you open escrow. This is all before 6 o'clock that night.
This is hilarious. This is a little, that is the dream scenario. I love it.
You get back in the car, drive 2 blocks, and then you get out of the car and do a little dance all around your car because you're about to make $50,000.
Don't forget, you also stopped at 7-Eleven and you got the winning lottery tickets. And then when you go home, your wife's waiting there in a negligee. Dinner is on the table.
Dinner's on the table?
And the kids are nowhere to be found. They're gone for a week.
Kids are all grown up.
Yeah. And paying for their own college. Let's just keep it going. What else?
I love this little fantasy.
Thank you.
They're paying for their own college. They're gone forever.
Exactly. This is all before 8 o'clock at night.
Each of their kids, they have extra money every month, so they send it to you.
That's right. Because I want to pay you back, Dad.
Because they're real appreciative of being in our family.
And they call every morning to say thank you for everything you've done.
God, you guys have been great parents. I just wanted to thank you again. Am I calling you too much to thank you? I don't want to bug you.
I know. If it's too much, let me know. I'll change it.
Anyway, you got this. I don't remember my numbers now. Like you're probably gonna make $50,000 or so in this house on the spread. You drive a couple of blocks away, you do a little dance, you jump out of the car because you don't want to do it in front of the house.
True.
The inspection looks good, and then it sinks in. Where the heck am I going to get $200,000?
Right.
This happens to everybody. Believe it or not, it happens to us because we can't really completely control how many great deals we get in all at one time.
True.
So we have a threshold of what we're willing to send out money-wise, both with deal funding and for us. And once in a while, we get such great deals and we have to bring on partners. What? Yeah,
I even run out of acquisition money. It's really funny. Like, oh, shoot, we got to buy this one too.
So what do? We like this type of structure in a transaction, in a partnership. It doesn't mean you have to do it. I think it's incredibly generous to the money partner. And the money partners stick around because of this. We ask them to put in 100% of all of the costs of the deal to close it. So if there's escrow costs and whatever, the house is, I don't remember my numbers.
200.
200,000 to
worth
purchase?
250.
Okay, let's just say, I thought it was 180. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Purchase price is 200,000, probably costs 205,000 with fees and all that stuff. Our partner writes a check for $205,000, and we own the house together. We don't put a dollar in. We do all the work, whatever's required. We go and sell the property. Go ahead.
I was going to back up and say though too, but we put in the initial sending out the mailer, the marketing, answering the phone. We don't charge for any of that. That was our costs going into it. So thank you.
And then we sell the property for $250,000. For sake of argument, there's, I don't know, $40,000 of spread. It's going to be a little bit less, but let's just say it's $40,000. The money person takes 20, we take 20, and we all move on our way instead of us just making the 40. So that's the way we handle it when it's a partnership where we are with the deal maker.
Right. Or we're managing the property. We're doing the work.
There's a ton of other ways to do it. If you're a landlord, maybe you need to raise capital. So you take on a partner and that partner takes 10% for the use of his capital. There's millions of ways, but this is how we do it. This is because we're the deal finder. If we're the deal funder, we're obviously in the other partner's shoes. So we require the same. We're happy to fund the properties in most cases 100% if it's a great deal, but we're not going to do any work.
Mm-hmm. Ding, ding. Do you want to throw in boots on the ground? Because some people, just in case you don't want to muddy it up with that.
I really didn't want to.
Okay, we don't have
sometimes
to.
There's a third party. It's okay. Sometimes there's a third party. You probably heard us talk about it in the past called boots on the ground. And, they're the people who do all the work. They meet with the contract. They meet with the inspector. They meet with the seller. They do the stuff, the boots on the ground stuff. They look through the asset. They,
take the pictures. Right. They put the sign in the yard.
They do
maybe you have an open house.
What a real estate agent is supposed to do. Right. And so for that, we usually pay them some percentage of the net, and we take it out of both sides. So if the money person's 50%, we're 50%, and there happens to be boots on the ground because we're not in that market, or we don't want to do it ourselves from a time standpoint, we usually each give up 5%.
Mm-hmm. And no way's right or wrong. I just want to hit this home too. Whatever works for you.
Mm-hmm.
What if your person who's your deal funder says, look, I'll fund 80%, you do the other 20. I mean, because they want to get to know you and make sure you have some skin in the game. Whatever makes sense to you guys. And you don't have to disclose this this is one of the things I tell people too. Don't muddy up the transaction with your title agent with all this extra paperwork on the side. They don't need to know. Just tell them, hey, we're buying it together. Next.
That's right. You don't ever want to ask them questions about anything.
Exactly. Don't open up that door.
They don't have any idea what deal you have.
Don't share with them the contract that you could sign on the side or anything like that. Because all it does is just confuse them.
What you're doing.
It's not doing anything wrong. You're just confusing them. It's going to make it harder for you.
So anybody in the partnership business assesses how they structure a deal based on risk. So the people, our money people, see us as very low risk, and rightfully so. We've done a bajillion deals. We have this stupid show. We have company after company and example after example of proven track record of success. So it's a very low risk. If they start to write that check, it's a very low risk for them. And so we need to, if we're in their shoes, we need to see the same thing. We need to see some people who are very responsible, who have a pretty good track record, who located in a great asset, and they have a total exit plan on the asset. And so then we're got our checkbook out saying this is going to be fun. Not, holy hell, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Correct. I hope we don't get stuck with it.
Right.
Or we don't get stuck having to sell it ourselves.
So it's all about risk with partnerships, right? Exactly. All about risk. There's a million ways to slice up a partnership. But I'll tell you, like the title says, it'll be the first and last partnership you ever do if everybody doesn't win. And I've seen people wreck their real estate careers because we are trying to negotiate the best deal for themselves without thinking of the other people involved, including the seller, the boots on the ground, or whatever role that you have. And it's the last deal they ever do. And it's very, very prevalent, this problem. This is one of the reasons I want to do this show. And this is one of the reasons I think it's such a popular topic in our group right now, because everybody has been hardwired since they're tiny little kids. I don't know why, to negotiate themselves out of a deal. And just really, I don't understand it.
Yeah, make it fair, make it good, and everybody
will
want to
consistent.
And people want to do deals.
And then get onto the next deal.
Exactly. Happy you could join us today. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're right here on the House Academy Show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're over on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Taking the First Step in Your Land Career. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
First step in land career. I'm trying to think what, man, for me, it was just kind of following a transaction, understanding the mechanics of it. That's
Boy,
all I needed to know.
So it's a Friday show, and so as you know, and no one else probably knows, those tend to be a little bit more philosophical for me.
Okay.
So I think that there's long before you even start. It's like a total, Karate Kid thing.
Right.
Long before you even start talking about real estate, there's other things you got to get straightened out in your head.
I'm sure you're going to share more. Thank you. The House Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching, wherever you are listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We're Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.